actors. Drama in my life, cinematic like an Oscar. Philip Seymour.
That record you're hearing right there, that's Angry Black Men with Dead Men Tell No Lies off their latest project, The Legend of ABM. And guess what, Chicago? I got the brothers Angry Black Men in the building.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling good, man.
Me too. I just put this strong coffee up in me. Man, whoever made the coffee today, shout out to you. But
sure.
As we get into things, first and foremost, like before I even get into the project and things of that nature, I got to ask you all, before forming Angry Black Men, how did you two even meet?
Ooh.
Oh, man. You want to take that one?
All right, so I'm trying to be as clear as I can because I got the weather here is like, ooh, messing with my sinuses. It's messing with my sinuses. So, yeah, I met Brian at a music video in 2014 through a mutual friend, and we kind of stayed in contact since then. That's the short version of it.
Okay, can I get a longer version, Brian?
Yeah. I was actually working with one of his friends, coincidentally, and he brought it to me. He said, "This is my friend. He make weird music," and it's like the picture that he showed me is his shirt is off with a line blurred through it, like he's Billy Woods or something.
I was like, I don't mean to cut you off. I really was in the Odd Future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was hard though, still. So that's what prompted me to like go and see what he was about. Mm-hmm. And we met on the video set, and actually we filmed it a few times because it was like some personal mess ups with the cameraman. Mm-hmm. So that gave us more time to, engage with each other. And, what I'm saying, over time, I just found his love for the music and he found my love. And then now here we are today.
Wow. So, okay, Quentin, I'm going to ask you, what like made you bond more with Brian over the course of time?
He was very persistent. I had a show later on that year, and he really wanted to play with me, and I was scared to play by myself. So I was like, man, yeah, play the show with me. And then that night, I know we really killed it, and everybody, like, they loved the set. So I was like, maybe there's something here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had more.
Really, that's it. Because like the following year, he asked me to be in a duo. So that was really it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, we met in 2014. Angry Black Men started in 2017. So those couple years, it was just us bonding.
It was like a couple years of an interview,
Gotcha.
And we weren't even that close in those years. Yeah. Like, I would see him every blue moon, you know what I'm saying? So
now look at you. And then Brian, in your standpoint.
He would see me every blue moon, and that was because I was going through like personal issues with just like me and family and stuff like that. So it was like I had to take like a mental break off the internet because that's how I was communicating with him over the internet. So.
You said it was like, both of you said it was pretty much like an interview. So what made Quentin pass the interview for you?
I guess I seen this music on the internet and, talking to him through the DMs, and then he seen my music. So we both seen the passion. We was spending money. We were I filmed in like 20-degree, like it was 20 degrees outside. I was freezing, but I still did it. So he witnessed that. I witnessed him, and we was like, yeah, we could do this. And I brought it to his attention. I said, man, we need to form a duo. We need to actually like do this, be outcast, but different. Mm-hmm. And he was like, nah, I don't want to do it. And then he took some time off to think. I was not expecting him to actually go forth right then and there. I wanted him to think about it, because it's a big commitment.
It is.
So when he came back, I knew he was going to say yes.
Oh, so I didn't know that. I didn't know you did that. Man, but look, I don't mean to cut you off. To be fair, though, at the time, this is 2016, 17, Chance the Rapper, Chief Keef is hot as fuck. Vic is hot as heck. Vic Mensa, Mick Jenkins. And I didn't want to be in a duo. Everybody was killing it solo. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't want to do that. So yeah, that was my thinking at the time. I was just like, I want to be solo. I want to be like Keef. I want to be like Chance. This duo stuff, I'm not a fan of it. Gotcha. And I had to think about it over time. I was like, well, if there's two of us, that's the work cut in half, And I was like, and we can play off each other. And I think our early releases we had to really find that, we had to really delve into that. See, so that was my thinking at the time.
I was listening to a lot of interviews, and just every artist said something that they had in common. It was like a financial rut. It was a financial discrepancy with everything. So I'm like, okay, if I took this on by myself, I would have to do hotel, food, travel, worry about every single last email. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to him because he be on it.
And since you all have bonded since then, bringing the group together in 2017, I mean, can you even define the meaning behind Angry Black Men? Because it's a very unique name in itself. And in general, you all stand out from a pack of other artists I would say duos that have names, but your name stands out to me tremendously. Like as soon as I see it, and it's in big, bold caps. So can you define what made you all come up with Angry Black Men and just, elaborate a little more on that?
You got it?
Well, the birth of the name came from, honestly, both of us. I had the Blackmen part, and then I tried to give it the first name. It was supposed to be Mad Black Man. But then he took it back and he said, nah, man, that's corny. We're going to have to switch that one up.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that. And also, I just want to apologize for my swearing. I messed up a couple times, but
it's all good, man. I told him.
That's the angry part.
Yeah, exactly. So when Brian came to me with that idea, I thought Mad Black Men was just really, it didn't hit like Angry Black Men. And the funny part about this is I had the logo already when I was doing my solo thing, and it was inspired by a group that MF Doom used to be in called KMD. If you're familiar, and I just put my own spin on it. So I had the logo. It's kind of like a match made in heaven. I had that logo 2 years or maybe a year before Angry Black Men actually started. So when he came with Mad Black Men, I was like, let's do Angry Black Men.
Yeah, it was that draw. I actually kind of seen the drawing, and we was just holding it until we had something concrete that we was going to present to the masses. So now here we are 7 years later.
Doing y'all thing.
Absolutely.
Getting ready to hit a big stage soon in which we're going to talk about. I mean, let's actually get into some music off the legend of ABM. Stanley Kubrick. Did I say that correctly?
Stanley.
Stanley Kubrick.
Y'all snapped on this record, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Stanley Kubrick. Rest in peace. I love his films.
I mean, before I get into it, break down this record for people so they can get the gist of things.
It's just bars, and we want it to be cinematic, like Stanley. Stanley's movies are very cryptic and very cinematic. I think he's the greatest director ever. Honestly, I think no diss at Spielberg, no diss at George Lucas or Coen brothers. They're some of them that's his children. Stanley Kubrick is the best. So we wanted some cinematic bars. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to go and this man went in. I feel like I snapped. I thought I had him, and what he does at the end. He kills it because some people are like, I don't even know what he's saying. But it's just listen. He's clearly talking. Brian has an accent, a Southern accent. And it's y'all, you need to listen. You know what I'm saying? Because he was spitting on that.
You just feeling this ish. Spider-Man spitting that venomous ish. Stanley Kubrick with the cinema ish. I'm ignorant.
Previous to the break, we were talking about the origins of Angry Black Men, how in a way, Quentin, you was like, I ain't really want to be in no group. Nah. But Brown wasn't going.
He was very persistent.
And look at what that persistency got you all. You know what I'm saying? Then created a amazing group that's also going to be hitting that Pitchfork stage very soon. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I do want to speak on from releasing your debut single, Okay, back in 2017, right? And then you drop your first EP.
Yes.
I'm going to just say Talk. in 2019. And now you put out your latest album, The Legend of ABM. How much has changed for you all, and what lesson have you learned that has fueled your career further?
Ooh,
man,
that's a good one.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one, man.
I mean, you here for a reason.
We definitely stuck to our guns. We stick to our guns now. I feel like that's a big lesson, I would say. At first we had doubts about the art we were putting out. Now, we're getting a lot of positive feedback. I mean, we met Danny Brown last night. He really likes the album. Now it's you really can't tell us nothing. At first it was you had doubts when you first started. It's
What type of doubts were they?
Are people going to like this? Okay, so, and this is how I kind of explain Angry Black Men too. it's angry black men before George Floyd and after George Floyd. Before George Floyd, we were living in a false liberal reality. Like, people were like, oh, racism is like, it's over, you know what I'm saying? And like, after George Floyd, I think it changed the landscape of America. So people started looking at the logo a lot differently.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That is deep. I mean, what's your take on, like, I guess, what has fueled Angry Black Men since the beginning of you all's career back in 2017?
Well, not trying to bite off what Q was saying, but really just, honestly, just seeing the love that we've gathered over the time, just from small to large now at this point. And we were just, I don't know, we just had a dream that we wanted to fulfill. And I didn't know how we would, because when we first started off, we was getting this oxymoron where, oh, it's angry black man. I feel like I need to be super deep, super, I need to feel it. And I'm just like, it's not even about that. Like, what if I can connect with you about something that your mama said and my mama said, and we both mad about that together, and it's a conversation. And that's how it always has been, with a beat and a microphone and me in the studio. It's just a conversation that I'm expressing about my life.
Ooh, and you all are bringing a new term to angry black men. Like,
right.
It's like drill. You know how people look at drill and back then, like, oh, it's this, it's that, it's negative, it's a stigma based on it. But look how it changed the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then when you think of black men, all black men ain't angry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes mad mean like mad cool. So I feel like you all are putting a different stigma on black men in general, and it's different. The music you're showcasing, the sound is extremely different. I mean, I want to talk about the label as well, because you inked the deal with Def Bomb, if I'm not mistaken.
Facts.
Like, how important is it to be under a label that understands your sound and your vision? Very,
very important, man. It's like, can you imagine being boxed in? Can you imagine wanting to do something, and then that threshold comes? I don't know if the mass is going to how you know? If I like it, one extra person is going to like it, and then that means another person's going to like it. It was like how they were making up COVID. It was like 1 in 5 people, but everybody's somehow getting it. Everybody's going to get it. It's going to be viral. It's going to be an infection. That's what we wanted to create with this album. We wanted to make it very infectious.
Yeah, and Death Bomb, like, I just want to add on to that. Like, shout out to them, because, like, being with the independent, like Brian said, you can't be boxed in. You have a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
You know, as if we were on a more mainstream label. And they have history with that. I mean, these guys worked with Death Grips, JPEG Mafia, Clipping. I think it only made sense that we would fit in that world. But I don't think we're like them at all. I think we bring our own, we have our own, skill set and stuff to bring to the table.
Yeah, I just feel like we got our own voice. And it's like, this man Q can hit me up in the middle of the night, be like, yo, I got this idea. Get in your underwear and jump off the roof. We're going to film it and send it in. They would probably, they accept it.
Yeah, we haven't did that. Hold on. We haven't did that, but exactly, like, we just got a lot of freedom. Like, it's really, like I said, at the end of the day, it's distribution. Mm-hmm. So, like, going to a major label, that would not be good for an artist that wants freedom, especially if you're trying to build something and make actual money, So we want our own fan base. We want our own world. We want our own independence. And we've had that. Like, we literally have a blackface logo. Like, what other label is going to be like, hey, you should change that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I mean, has there been any pressure with signing? And when I say pressure, like, think about it. In the beginning of Angry Black Men, it was you all almost didn't become a group. And now you become a group and you get a deal put in front of you. So was there any, like, pressure, like, should we sign this, should we not, should we stay independent? And also, is there any pressures that come with, signing that deal where, like, now the goals change?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we still dealing with that pressure today, just with the recent contracts that's been put in front of us. So it's like, you don't know if you want to be locked in, and you don't know how well you're going to be feeling or where you're going to be at financially 4 or 5 months down the line. And we're signing these things months, maybe a year in advance. So it's like, it's a big gamble, but you just got to have trust. And you just got to trust in your team, got to trust in your partner, and just persevere.
I know that's right.
Married couple.
That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. It feels like a marriage. You got to answer to one another. You got to consider one another's feelings. You know, if he's not feeling well, I'm not feeling well, we got to take that into consideration. You know, this is not, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, sometimes I'll be like, man, that check, we got to split it. I was like, okay, we're going to get 8 more after that. So it's like, your stuff going to build up. So anybody out there that's doing this solo, man, find you a partner and stop being so self-centered.
Whew. That's great advice.
Yeah, that's very great advice. I felt that right here. My soul, young man. I felt it right there.
You need a team. You need a team. That's what Danny told us last night.
Yeah.
He said, you need a team, whatever you do. That's what really counts. I asked him, like, you got any advice? Danny was like, a team. Shout out to Danny Brown. That's one of my favorite rappers of all time.
You got a chance to chop
it up with him. I got a chance to meet this man. I was kind of flipping out, but...
Dude had no back vocals. It was all him.
All him.
All
That's
breath.
A performer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, before we tap into this break and I get into one of my favorites off the album, I spoke on how, like, Def Bomb, how they understood you all sound and seen the vision. What is ABM's vision in general?
To be as authentic as possible, to be as true to yourself, I would say. Like, Angry Blackmen is we're us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's in my opinion, that's Angry Blackmen. We're us, and we want to say something in a time where I think music is very capitalistic.
Me personally, my goal is to be able to step outside, and I don't have to pretend to be something. I don't have to pretend to be a stage name. What you see right here in the flesh is what you get on TV.
What you get, what you see is what you get.
I love it, man. Don't sabotage your career, okay? With that being said, we finna jump into this joint. It's all our latest album, The Legend of ABM, man. Angry Blackmen is in the building. It's Vocalo Radio. Previous to the break, I was asking you all about your vision.
Absolutely.
Love the way you broke that down, by the way. We talked about Def Bomb signing, and we got to get into the album. I mean, The Legend of ABM. It's out right now. Why the title?
It's our legend. It's not in the sense that we are legends. It's our story. The album title was inspired by Richard Matheson's I Am Legend book, not the movie. They're very different. They have similar stories and themes, but they have different, outlooks. So the album was inspired by that, and this is our story. It's a tale of two men, essentially.
What makes, in your opinion, either one of you can answer this, what would make you all legendary?
Meep.
Honestly. Real honestly. It's just the way that we treat our supporters. Notice how I say supporters. I don't say fans. I say supporters because they go out, they do their 9 to 5, and then they come and they give you part of their bill money because they want to see their favorite artists entertain them. That's a connection. That's a real relation right there. And, like, we not no industry plants. We've been running these Chicago streets for 7 years, and we gonna continue. And that's all I'm saying. Like, when he brought the concept to me about the legend, I said, yeah, we been here in Chicago. We did this house show. We did this venue. Yeah, we got a legend coming around these streets. We got some stickers that's posted on some light poles somewhere. So, yeah, that legend at ABM is coming soon. Nah, let me stop.
I wish y'all.
That was for the camera. That was for the camera.
I wish y'all could see his face because he meant what he said when he said it.
Absolutely.
Okay, he meant
I think
that.
what's going to make us, like Brian said, is just the work. That'll make us legendary. That makes anybody legendary. I don't think you should call yourself a legend. It'll happen,
Yeah.
So putting in that work is definitely going to leave a great impact.
I just want to put the cheat code out there. As the years go by, we're just going to form into legends. So it's coming soon.
Right. I love how you all space your music out. Like you make your supporters wait. You know what I'm saying? You're not just saturating. You're actually taking your time and giving people this good music you're delivering. So I appreciate that. Like I look at that as a great rollout when you take your time with the music and put it out and not just single this week, single next week. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. But you allow your listeners to soak in the music. So I apply you all on that. And I mean, out of the 11 tracks that's on this project, I got to know, what song do you have on repeat right now and why?
Like off of like my album?
Well, off The Legend of ABM.
Stanley Kubrick. And I got a couple. I got a few. Stanley Kubrick, Sabotage.
It's Sabotage for me. For me, it's Sabotage. I always have that.
I killed that. Yeah.
I'm gonna just stop there.
Yeah, I just feel like that's the song we both were in our bag, and it just works.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
Was Sabotage created in the middle of the album or like before the album? Like, was it the beginning process?
The beginning process. Okay. There's like two versions of this album too. Like, I was in a car accident during the middle of the recording, so I feel like my first half is very anti-capitalistic, and my second half is very existential. Like, I talk about death a lot.
Wait, was the accident? It wasn't in the States, was it? It was like
no, it was here. It was Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Guys, I don't know. See, I thought Mexico. When I hear Mexico,
that's everybody. Yeah, everybody in New Mexico is like, people think this is Mexico. I was like, yeah.
How did that change like your mentality?
Life is short, and I came out the accident with just one bruise. And if I showed you the pictures, you'd be like, you should be dead.
Wow.
Yeah, just one bruise. That's why I was like, there's a higher power, because I should be dead. One bruise, nothing was wrong with me. I was like, we gotta go hard on this album. That was my only mentality. That we gotta live life to the fullest.
Man, shout out God.
I'm not. Yeah,
shout out God.
I'm not. No offense to anybody that is religious, not religious, but I do believe in there's a higher power. I always send my prayers out for my brothers and sisters and family wherever they are, because I still want to see them next year. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't get excited for like the new year coming, because you never know what's going to happen. So even when he was in a car crash and we were in the writing process, like I had some earlier stuff, and it was, in my opinion, it was whack compared to now what I see, because he went through that car crash. He was like, bro, I almost lost my life. You got to put your foot in this project. Like, and ever since then, I don't know why. I wasn't there to experience the car accident, but I don't know, his words sound like a state of urgency to me. So I was just like, I just scrapped it and just went harder, just talked about it.
So what happened to you, Quinn, affected you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's real bondage right there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, as we get closer to wrapping things up, I want to briefly talk about this cover too. It's a young lady. Hold up.
Shout out Yuki. Shout out Yuki Fujinami from Japan. She is a close internet friend and a DJ in Tokyo. That is her on the cover. Shout out Yuki.
Okay.
We had that cover maybe 2 years before we did the album. Wow. I just said, hey, we need something like dark, and you want to be the cover. She shot it in Japan and sent it back. She sent 3 versions. We picked out one.
Yuki is her name.
Yuki.
Shout out Yuki.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Yuki.
She came through in the clutch.
And she made that. She gave it I feel like she gave it another identity, and it adds on to the theme of the Legend of ABM.
Yeah, it was like easy for me to stare at the cover photo and continue writing my bars, because I just saw the what's the word I want to say? The disturbing look in her face.
She really pulled that off. Some of them, the funny part is she took some that were like, she's kind of like, happy, monotone, but then that one that's like menacing, where it's like, what is that album? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know what that album is.
Yeah, that picture, it catch you. It called me. I say, look at who is this?
Shout out Yuki, man.
I thought y'all AI at that for us.
This was a little bit before AI's takeover.
No, that's great. No, I'm saying that's how good it is.
But it's crazy how we're in this new society where that's the thought that comes from you.
Facts.
In 2005, you wouldn't think that
at all.
Even in 2022, when she sent that, or 2021, we didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
Man. Hey, look, the Legend of ABM is out right now. You all are taking the Pitchfork Festival stage very soon. Okay. How exciting is it for you all to hit this stage?
Jitters.
Yeah. Is it your first festival?
Yeah. I would say on this level. Yeah, 100%. And I also like, it's my first time at Pitchfork. I've never been there. I couldn't afford it.
But hey, look, you couldn't afford it, but they can afford you. Look, they about to boom, boom, boom. You feel what I'm saying? That we gonna be there to check you all out and cover things. I mean, but I do want to ask you all, because Pitchfork recently posted the album as well. They gave you all a 7.4. How y'all feel about that?
I didn't know how to feel because, like, I didn't know their grading scale like that. And then once I gained knowledge of their grading scale, and people was like,
"That's basically a 10."
Yeah,
that's
like,
underground for a 10.
I'm like, if it's basically a 10, let me get a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that 7.4 was well deserved. Also, Fantano, where's the review at, man?
Yeah, man.
Where's the review? Like he did a couple
shout
tracks.
out. He did a shout out,
but where's the review?
You know what? Shout out my mama, love you. Shout out my old lady, I love you. But
what
come
the
on,
fuck,
man? He did a shout out. I just did a shout out too.
Yeah, you're right. You absolutely right. You right. Yeah, but at least he did it. At least he put it out there to his viewers. And,
shout out my sister.
I love you, Fantano, because you didn't have to even do that. I appreciate you because I know the type of process, and it's coming. It's coming. It may not come this time around, but it's gonna come. But we on his radar and we on his mind.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
And because you know it ain't easy reaching that man there. He's busy.
Love you, bro.
I mean, matter of fact, give out y'all shout outs and let people know where they can find you all. And also let people know why they should go get this album that is out right now.
Follow us, Angry Blackmen, on Instagram. Angry Blackmen everywhere.
Yes, sir.
And I think y'all should get this album because it's honest.
Yeah,
it's an honest album in a world that is saturated by ill intent and non-honesty in capitalism.
Man, it's the legend of ABM. Ain't no cap in our rap. Go ahead and get that. If you want realness, get that. If you want the fake, continue listening to what you're listening to. Have a good day.
It's honest. Shout out my mom. Shout out my sister. I love y'all. Shout out my brother Cameron.
Shout out my family. Shout out my old lady. She at work right now. Shout out my mom. She at work right now. Shout out my brother. Shout out everybody.
Shout out Vocalo.
I know that's right, man.